Hello friends, welcome to my first Procreate tutorial video. I've been using Procreate for probably around 6 years now, and I learned this program the same way I learn most things, which is by just poking around and trying stuff out. But that's not how most people learn, so I'm finally here showing you some of the stuff I know. Since we're officially in spooky season, I thought it would be fitting to go over some of the scariest Procreate tools to explore, and show you how they're actually not so scary. So let's get right into it. If you've been poking around in Procreate yourself, you might have noticed these scary and confusing options: Mask, Clipping Mask, and Alpha Lock. If you haven't found them, open your Layers tab and tap on one of the layers. If the layer is above another layer, you'll see all three options. If it's your first layer, you'll only see Mask and Alpha Lock. So, what do these things mean, and why are they so scary? Alpha Lock allows you to isolate the objects on that layer. This is what we call destructive editing, because once you make your changes on this layer, you won't be able to erase them. Procreate has two ways of allowing you to apply Alpha Lock. You can select it in the dropdown, or you can swipe the layer with 2 fingers. Once you see that checkered background in your layer thumbnail, that's how you know Alpha Lock is turned on. These are some of the ways I use Alpha Lock. Masks and clipping masks are forms of non-destructive editing, so they're super helpful if you're scared of commitment. No, but really, if you put a lot of work into your design, you won't want to risk messing it up by working directly on the same layer. So let's go over them. Clipping masks are my personal favorite. This produces the same result as Alpha Lock, but it's non-destructive, so you can make your changes on a separate layer, but it only applies to the objects on the layer directly below. So if you mess up or don't like how it looks, you can erase. You can also apply multiple clipping masks to the same layer, which is great for adding shadows and highlights, for example. Now, masks are slightly more complicated, and it took me a while to understand their purpose, but now that I get it, they've been super helpful in a lot of my projects. When you add a mask to a layer, you'll see a white layer appear above. That's your mask. Select whatever brush you want to use, make sure your color is set to black, and it will essentially act like an eraser while keeping your original layer intact. If you make a mistake and want to add the color back in, switch your brush color to white and go back over it, and boom, it's back. I like to use this a lot when I'm doing lettering and want swashes to loop around each other, or around other elements of my design. It helps to lower the opacity of my masked layer to see exactly where I need to erase. Another tip with masks, you want to make sure you're using a very opaque brush. You probably want to avoid brushes with a lot of transparency, like watercolor or paint style brushes, because it won't fully erase and you'll have to keep going over it. Work smarter, not harder, and use an opaque brush for masking. So there you go. That is my general overview of how to use Alpha Lock, clipping masks, and masks in Procreate. I hope this video was helpful. I know these are some of the scariest bits of Procreate to try to learn, but once you get a hang of them, you will be relying on them in almost all of your artworks. It's very rare that I make a piece that doesn't use at least one of these tools. If you have any requests for Procreate topics I should cover next, anything that you can't just figure out on your own, please leave them in the comments below. I want to make more tutorials like this, but I've been using this program for so long that a lot of it is muscle memory, so I don't think, oh, this might be a good tutorial to cover. So please let me know what you need help with, and I will get a tutorial up for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And whatever you get up to today, no matter the weather, always bring your own sunshine. Bye.